Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of the Mega Housing Summit. Good evening, everyone. It's good to be here. Wow. For all our viewers on YouTube, for all our viewers on Facebook, I welcome you to the day 2 of the Mega Housing Summit. Tonight is going to be an awesome night. Tonight is going to be an awesome night. I mean, last week we had a very, 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 very powerful section. 3 sections we had last week. So I'm specially welcoming you to this day 2. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Okpeoluwaoni. I'll be your moderator this evening, and I believe in the next 2 hours plus is going to be an interesting time. It's going to be a life-changing time. All our speakers are ready. All our speakers are set for us, and we are going to have a very wonderful evening. I believe you are ready. Because I'm ready, I mean, my notepad are ready. I'm ready to take decisions. I am super, 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 super ready. Because we are looking at the topic, affordable, acceptable, and accessible housing. Is this really possible? How can I acquire accessible, affordable, and acceptable housing? So those are some of the things that we are going to be looking at today. And we have 2 powerful speakers, and they are going to be doing justice to 2 powerful topics this evening. And it's going to be an awesome ride, awesome ride, awesome ride. And I believe you are ready. I believe you are ready. So we have Shola Adeshakin. She's going to be talking about real estate acquisition for professional. Are you a professional? Are you listening right now? Are you looking at, I mean, I don't have much time. I don't have luxury of time. And how can I acquire real estate? How can I build my wealth? How can I build my wealth using real estate? So she's going to be taking us on that journey. And also, we have the convener of this mission in person of Mr. Oladipupo Clement is going to be taking us on planning your retirement with real estate. I mean, everybody is going to get retired one day or the other. So he's going to be taking us through that section. So it's going to be a powerful time. It's going to be awesome. I mean, last week we had Professor Patu Tomi, we have Mr. Debo Adejana, we had Dr. Lumide Emmanuel, 3 powerful sections. In case you missed last week, it was awesome. It was hot from the get-go. Powerful. Every section was just pa, 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 pa. It was powerful, awesome. And people are already taking decision. People are already taking decision, because what is the essence and the purpose of knowledge if you are not taking decision? So thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I can see people are joining us from Facebook, from Facebook, from YouTube. So go to the comment section, whether you are listening to us on Facebook right now or you are listening to us on YouTube right now. Go to the comment section now and tell me where you are listening to us from. Whether you're on the protest ground, just put it there. Is it the Alausa section? Is it the Lekki section? Or wherever you are listening to us, or are you listening to us from Port Harcourt? Anywhere. So go to the comment section right now and let's know where you are listening to us from. Wow. I'm so excited about this evening. Because I know all our speakers are going to be doing great job for all the topics. And it's going to be a time of decision. It's going to be a time of decision. So go to the comment section. We welcome you. Let's know where you are listening to us from. So thank you for joining on YouTube. Thank you for joining us on Facebook. It's going to be an awesome section tonight. So go to your comment section and let's know where you are listening to us from. And then again, just a quick announcement. In case you missed last week's section, you can go to our YouTube channel. The videos are there. You can watch them, take all the decisions, take all the steps that you need to take. So it is very important. So the Mega Housing Summit this year edition is coming to us online. Last year was a physical one, and it was even just one day. But because of technology, because of the season that we are in now, so last week Saturday we had our day 1. This Saturday right now, we're having the day 2. Next week, Saturday is going to be bam. We're having the day 3, and the last Saturday, we are going to be rounding up with day 4. So I believe you are ready. I believe you are ready. I believe you are set. Very shortly, we are going to be bringing up our speaker, the first speaker for the day. I'm going to be introducing him very shortly. But take this announcement, take this instruction, take this announcement. That's the first instruction that we're going to be doing today, because we are doing a lot of giveaways today. We are doing some, just to appreciate for those that have been with us since last week. So I want you to listen to these 2 sections. Take notes. We're going to ask some couple of questions, and we're going to be doing some little giveaways. And so if you answer the questions right, you are going to partake from the giveaway. So let's just take notes. So, and watch out for some of those questions that we are going to be asking during the question and answer. As you are going to be asking the speaker some questions, we are going to be asking you some questions. And if you get it right, we are going to give you some giveaways. Okay, we are going to be doing a giveaway. So the other instruction is that you need to take a screenshot of yourself watching this video, or take a screenshot of your video, or take a picture of yourself watching this video, whatever platform you are watching from. Do that and post it on your Instagram handle, on your Twitter handle. And for Twitter, tag at @millionohms_. Tag at @millionohms_. I believe this announcement will be rolled. You see it on the screenshot. So tag at @millionohms_. On Instagram, tag at @millionohmsafr. @millionohmsafr. So, but you need to use this hashtag. This hashtag is what we are using. MillionOhms 2020 MHS 2020 by MillionOhms. MHS 2020 by MillionOhms. So what are the instructions? Number 1, take a screenshot of yourself listening to this section, whether you're watching from Facebook, from your laptop, from your mobile device, from your tablet PC, or you're watching from YouTube, whatever platform, or probably from your smart TV. So take a screenshot or take a picture of yourself watching this section, post it on your Twitter, and tag. On Twitter, you tag MillionOhms_, and on Instagram, you tag at MillionOhmsAFR, and use this hashtag. So you are using this hashtag FHS 2020 by MillionOhms. FHS 2020 by MillionOhms. So are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? So any moment from now, I'm going to be bringing up our first speaker. Our first speaker is someone that, if you have never listened to him before, this encounter is going to change your life. You might be, how will owning a property change my life? No, this is someone that has built wealth through real estate. Built wealth through real estate. And the first speaker is going to be talking to us about how to use real estate, planning your retirement with real estate. So your own retirement tool is real estate. So he's going to be showing us how do you use real estate as your retirement tool. So he's teaching on the topic, planning your retirement with real estate. So he's going to be taking us. So after his section, we're going to take questions pertaining to his section. So immediately after his own lecture, we are going to take a questions pertaining. So what we'll do is this: as this section is going on, just go to the comment section and ask your question, so that you won't forget. Just drop your question at the comment section. Drop your questions at the comment section, whether you're watching from Facebook or you are watching from Facebook or you are watching from YouTube. So without
Introducing Oladipupo Clement, convener. Oladipupo Clement is a global investor and trusted wealth creation and retention coach with a career spanning over 2 decades. He is the Chief Executive Officer of LifeRich Group, a real estate investment company. LifeRich Group has successfully created and managed over 23 projects across Africa with an investment portfolio deals worth over $20 million. It leads a group of investors or professionals comprising of over 15,000 subscribers and realtors. He also co-founded several other companies within the construction, software development. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Oladipupo Clement.
You're welcome, sir.
Interesting. Good evening, good morning, depending on where you may be joining us from. Thank you, Mr. Okbeoluwa. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of you. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of you. I'm quite anxious, and I don't know why. I'm the convener of the event, but I feel a bit anxious. I just have a feeling that there's so much a high expectation, and so I hope I don't disappoint anyone today. All right, so let's get quickly into our subject for today. I want to thank you all for making our time for being a part of this session today, and I trust that it's going to be an exciting time. After last week edition, you know, the standard has been set so high, and it's like, who can beat those standards anymore? But let's see how far we can go on these. I just focus on my topic. All right, so let's get going. I'm speaking today on planning your retirement using the vehicle of real estate. And planning your retirement is extremely an important subject that everyone, no matter your age, no matter your status, whether you're a business owner, you're a handyman, you're a professional, whether you're an employee, whether you're a graduate or undergraduate, everybody needs this subject, and it's so crucial. But I want to just lay a little foundation for what I will share today. In 2006, I remember one of my clients at the time invited me to witness a send forth some kind of retirement training that had been put together for retirees by the federal government on how to make use of their yet to be paid gratuity. And that experience that I had then in 2006 would never leave me in a hurry. It's an experience that left me in a state of shock. How that, though that particular training was a laudable and important training, but it would have been a lot valuable if that training was provided them at the beginning of their career. And so, interestingly, one of the things I paid attention to, I'm a very good observer. One of the ways by which I learn is, apart from reading, listening, I observe a lot. I observe my environment. I study my environment a lot. And one of the things I monitored that particular event was the fact that there were quite a handful of these retirees who came for that event. One thing I observed was that those who were able to make it, a good chunk of them, you know, were aided in by some younger fellow. Majority of those people, you know, were not in good health condition. I also suspect that at the time also, majority of them couldn't make it either because some of them were dead or some of them were in critical health condition. And then the third possibility is that some of them didn't even need the training because they were better off. And that for me turned my life around personally, you know, because someone said, experience is not the best teacher. It is the experiences of others that is the best teacher. And that's exactly what that did to me. There were 4 things that I can pick quickly from that experience, and I need to just drop it. Number 1 is that you don't want to retire and be looking for a job in order to survive, or banking on others in order to survive. That's number 1 thing. There were a number of those retirees at that time who didn't even require that training, basically because they planned their lives. All right. So you don't want to retire. And whatever that image, whatever image comes to your mind, even as I say this, is something that should help you to reorganize yourself, no matter where you are right now, whether you are 5 years to retirement, 10 years to retirement, or 20 years to retirement. There's no better time to start planning for your retirement than right where you are now. All right. And that's very, very important. Number two, while working really doesn't end, and working for necessity, is what must end. And this is so important too. Working will not end, but working for necessity is what must end. Those are some of the lessons I learned from that particular experience. And I've gone on, that's about 14 years ago now, 14 years now. And I can tell you that from personal experience, I know some things. And I've gone on to, from being a pauper to doing what I do today, and also helping a lot of people. This is why we put this event together. We are not doing this just for the fun of it. The greatest gift you can give a man is to teach them how to fish, right? And anyone who wants to keep you perpetually in bondage deprives you of an information that would liberate you. And that's essentially why this conference is so essential. All right. Number three is that your retirement doesn't have to be at 60. You don't have to retire at 60 or after 35 years of working life. So, and we're going to be, giving some insights into exactly what you must do differently from those who have gone ahead of us. You also need to understand that the times are changing. The agrarian age is different from the industrial age. The industrial age is entirely different from the information age. And obviously, it's entirely different from the intelligence age. So your retirement doesn't have to be at 60. So you don't have to clock 60 or spend 35 years, active working life before you retire. This is so important. This is extremely crucial. Number four, you can choose your retirement age. You can choose your retirement age. One beautiful thing I found very instructive personally is the fact that there are things that you cannot define in life. There are things you don't have control over. You can't determine who gives birth to you, for example. You can't determine the which you are born. You can't determine who your father, who your parents, who your siblings would be. But you know what you have control over? You can choose this one, for example. You can choose your retirement age. You can determine it from this moment right now. I'm telling you, you can determine that right away. All right. So those are some of the 4 key points I drew from my personal experience on that particular day. Of course, I made decisions, and those decisions are responsible for where I am where I am right now. And it's the same thing I intend to achieve with each and every one of us listening to me right now. I want you to be able to take a decision. My mentor often says that great meetings don't make great people. It's great decisions. So you want to take a decision today. Most times when people think about retirement, a few things come to their mind. The first thing that comes to their mind is, what will happen to me after retirement? They get anxious, they get, really scared. And I found out that a lot of people, especially during my days when I was an employee, I remember many of my clients, I always get calls when it's just 2 years to retirement, 5 years to retirement, and then people are often under severe pressure to try to achieve in 3 years, in 5 years, what they couldn't accomplish even in 10 years. And you find a situation where people who are retirees, start to mount pressure on their on their children who are just fresh graduates to produce results within 2 years that they could not even produce in 30 years. So not planning for your retirement will not only impact you, will also impact on other people around you. And that's pretty much some of the things I want to quickly look at. So let's quickly do, to plan for your retirement. I wrote a book, and I would encourage you to go on my website, oladipopoclement.org, and get those books. Planning for your retirement, that's the title of the book. I may not be able to cover a lot of things in that book, but I'll just touch on very important elements and then give you tools that you can start to work with almost immediately. My intention today, we have very limited time. My intention today is just to hand over tools that I am using, right? you don't forget what you do. You don't forget what you do. It's easy to download anything on internet. It's easy to copy anything from anywhere. But what you do and practice is not something you forget to communicate. So what does it mean? What does retirement really mean, right? Retirement, by definition, my opinion, and it's important to take note of this. My opinion, retirement is a stage in your life when you will be out of active service, right? And that can be 5 years from now, 10 years from now. It's a point in your life when you are no longer working for necessity, just as I said earlier. So at that point in your life, you could be 40, you could be 45, you could even be 30, right? You can set your retirement age. I've read materials. I don't have, of course, I have stories of people that I relate with personally who have retired at 35, who have retired at 40. I have stories of people like that and who have personal relationships with. One thing that is common is the fact that at that point in your life, you are now working for purpose. You are working for fulfillment. You are not just working. You are working now to live and not just working to live. You are working to live and not just working for a living. And this is very, very important. You are not just working for a living. You are working to live. In order for you to continually be alive and healthy, ill and hearty, you have to continue to do that. That's very important. So what does it mean? So if retirement is a time in your life when you'll be out of active working life, then what exactly is planning? And this one part I'm very excited about because I plan my life and I encourage everyone to do so. And I'm going to get into some very touchy, very sensitive areas shortly. Planning, in my definition, is basically bridging the gap between today and tomorrow. I often say to people, if you are not going to be broke tomorrow, it's today you will know. And it's the way you lay your bed that you will lie on it. And this is very important. Planning is so crucial. I often say to people as well that it is cheaper and better to fail on paper than to fail in the field. It is cheaper and better than to fail on paper than to fail in the field. If you make a mistake on your piece of paper, the worst thing that will happen is that you trash that paper and get a new one. And it's easier. Okay, and that's very much important. And that's exactly what planning is. It's basically bridging the gap between today and tomorrow. And in simple terms, you are basically ascertaining your location when it comes to planning, especially when it comes to financial planning. You are ascertaining your current location, where exactly you are, and then you are defining and determining your destination, and then choosing your vehicle. The summary of everything I'm going to be sharing today is built on this simple principle. And it has helped me, it has helped several other people, and it can help just about anybody, regardless of your geography, regardless of your location. All right, so that's very important. So let's quickly look at what then is retirement planning. So retirement planning, therefore, can be defined as preparing for a life out of active service before or immediately you start working. This is very important. Planning for retirement, therefore, means preparing for life out of active service, right, before or immediately you start working. And now this is the culture that every organization needs to promote. I always say that this is the culture every organization should promote. I often share with my guys and share with people. I've had stories of people who earned so much and then got to some point. I've even worked in an organization before where people earned as high as 50 million a year, 40 million a year, and they couldn't create as much they should. All right. And there were several factors responsible for this, but I don't want to go into those factors, right? I don't want to get into those factors. Now, very quickly, if planning for your retirement is about a time when you will not have to work for necessity, it's about structuring and creating a life after work, right? The type of life you want to live after work, then it's important we look at why then do you really need to plan for your retirement? Why do you need to plan for your retirement? Why do you need to plan for your retirement? Certainly, we're looking at planning retirement or your retirement with real estate. But before we even get into the subject of real estate, let's understand what planning for your retirement truly means. Why do you need to plan for your retirement in the first place. Number one, a research report was released a couple of years back, and 100 college graduates were monitored over a 40-year period, right? And their outcome was as follows. Now, note this. Out of these 100 graduates finished from school, they were monitored. Out of these 100 people, 1%, that is 1 out of all of these people, was financially independent and exceedingly wealthy. Only 1. 1 out of 100. 1 out of 100. 4 out of these people were rich and comfortable, right? And then 5%, and 5 out of those 100 people were still working for necessities. You don't get to a point in your life where you are no longer having steady, active income, and there is no passive income to replace it. You don't want to get to that point in your life. You don't want to be at the mercy of a government that doesn't think about you. You don't want to be at the mercy of an organization that really is not about you. You want to think about these things. A lot of people, I remember sharing this some time ago. About 4 years ago, I was to host a seminar, and I shared with a few young men to join me for the planning your retirement seminar. And I remember this gentleman said to me, I'm not ready to die. I'm not ready to retire. But that's exactly what comes to people's mind, especially when they are much younger. I can tell you categorically here, your greatest resource for planning for your retirement, especially as it relates to your finances, is time. Time is the greatest resource for planning your retirement. And please don't forget that. All right. So out of those 100 people, 5 were still working for necessities. So they were still looking for jobs to survive. 36 of them, 36 out of those 100 people were already dead. And 54%, which means 54 out of those 100 people were indigent and dependent on others or social welfare. These are the realities. I think the statistics are even worse in this part of the world. This is US statistics, and I think it's even worse in this part of the world. So what exactly do you need to plan for your retirement? A few points I just want to mention here because of my time. Number one, you're already on your way to retirement. Whether you are currently have a job or out of job, whether you are retired, whether you are retrenched, whether you have resigned, you're already on your way to retirement. Whether you are a business owner, whether you're a professional, whether you're self-employed or an employee, you are already on your way to retirement. So, and let me be honest with you, you cannot continue to labor the way you are laboring right now when you eventually get to that point. The things, law of diminishing return will set in eventually when you retire. So you're already on your way to retirement. Whether there's a gratuity in place, whether there's a pension, retirement savings account or not, you're already on your way to retirement. The law of diminishing return will set in emotionally, psychologically, physiologically, physically, even mentally. It will go down. You will continue to diminish. And so it's important to pay serious attention to this at this point in your life. Number 2, nobody will plan your future for you if you do not. These are some of the key reasons you have to plan for your retirement. Nobody, and I say nobody, will plan your retirement for you. Nobody will plan for your future for you without your involvement. And this is so important. Money will continue to flow the way it is. Money will not continue to flow the way it is right now, tomorrow. And that's if it is flowing at all. What you do during the seasons of surplus will always determine what will happen in the seasons of famine. And so resources will not continue to flow the way it is flowing to you. So you've got to plan for the future. I'll get into that very quickly. I often say to people, while there's nothing wrong with a pension scheme, with RSA, retirement savings account, having a pension fund administrator to manage your pension, I personally don't believe in it. Even though we operate is statutory, right? I personally flow with it. I don't have a problem with it. But one of the key things I must tell you is that pension is not adequate to resolve your retirement requirements or retirement needs. And this is so important. I can tell you for a fact It just meant it's supposed to be a supplementary arrangement to whatever you have put in place. And this is so important. Your retirement savings account is not adequate for the future. I mean, for obvious reasons. I can go on and on, but that time will not permit me to dissect the concept around pension. It's already failing in different parts of the world. In some nations of the world, in Europe, they've moved retirement age from 65, they've moved it to 67. In some professions, in some sectors, they've even moved retirement age to 72. All right. So, and that's still not solving problems, right? What is failing in America, failing in Europe is what we have embraced here. So you really can't count on the systems that are in place. So it's just supposed to be a supplementary arrangement to what you have put in place. And that's what you have control over, right? This is very important. Number 3, why do you need to plan for your retirement? Inflation. I don't know any of you who bought anything a year ago who still are finding to buy that same product, that same commodity for the same price today. And even if you are getting it at the same price, quality has dropped. So you find out that, and I mean, as you age, as you grow older, you realize that things are not going to be delivered to you for free. The fact that you are now going to be retired doesn't mean things will be handed over to you for free in the market. So you realize inflation, the rising cost of goods and services, it's becoming really alarming. Just between January and now, you know what has happened in the country. In Nigeria alone, the fuel price has gone up. A lot of things that happen. So you realize if if you pay this much right now and you are still in active working life, common sense should tell you and I that tomorrow will be more expensive. So you got to plan. You got to plan. There's no free lunch for retirees anywhere, right? So it's important to understand that this is one of the key reasons, all right? And there will never come a time when you will not need money to survive. There will not need resources to be able to maintain your life. Number 4 is that your children can inherit your job. For those of us here who are employees, who are on paid employment, one thing you must recognize is that no matter how high you rise on the corporate ladder, no matter how high you rise in that organization, listen to me carefully, you cannot will your ID card to your children. Even if the job of a permanent secretary is not permanent. A permanent secretary will still retire someday. And it's important to recognize that. And the day you lose your job, either by retirement, retrenchment, or by resignation, will determine how well you have planned. That's the day you will see your report card, whether you planned well or not. This is so important. So don't wait to face that harsh reality. It's coming. The best thing you will hand over to your children, you will to your children, are the assets, investments that you have built up. And that's very important. And that's essentially one of the focal points of my lecture today. Let me just drop just the 5th one, and I'll move on to how to plan for your retirement. The 5th reason you should plan for your retirement is because there will be increase in health costs. You would realize that as you age, even though there's been significant advancement in medical science, you realize that the cost is also soaring, right? It's just directly proportional to inflation. And so you will need more health care in the future than you currently need now that you are young. And so you've got to plan your retirement. So failure to start planning early or planning now for your retirement puts you at a huge risk, right? This is so, so crucial. Now, let's quickly get into, there are too many reasons, but let me just stop there. Let's move on to how to plan your retirement. Now, there's something I just quickly need to drop here. Number 1, in planning your retirement, the first step you need is make financial independence your goal. Make it your vision. Make financial independence your goal. And you realize that you don't need 35 years, even though time is an advantage. Time should be an advantage, but you don't need 35 years to be financially independent. And this is very important. To make the first step in planning for your retirement is make, financial independence your target. Make it your goal. I say it all the time. Financial independence is a point in your life when the proceed from your investment is capable of meeting all your daily needs without you having to worry another day. I mean, at least you are capable of taking care of your personal and your family needs. That's financial independence. There are 5 levels in the journey to financial freedom. There's financial crisis. That's where the majority of people are. And you can move from that point if you so choose, if you decide. There's also financial instability. That's another level where a majority of people are for whatever reason. And that's today is not for that. There's also financial stability where you basically are getting by. There's some degree of financial equilibrium. What is coming in and what is going out seem to match to an extent. And of course, there's financial independence. Financial independence is the 4th level, but it's not the highest level, right? But financial independence at least gives you that degree of comfort where your passive income now can replace your active income, where you don't no longer have to work for necessity. Anytime anybody see you working, you are not working because of yourself anymore. You are working because of fulfillment. You are working for a higher purpose. And that's where you can be as well. But financial freedom, at that point, you are financially free. And then the proceed from your investment is not only capable of meeting your needs and that of your family, but it's capable of doing a lot of good and donations to the world. And that's the highest level. And that's why I host Financial Freedom Masterclass from time to time to take people. I have a life. One of my life goals is to raise 1,000, financially free individuals, 1,000 multi-millionaires, over the next 5 years. It's one of my major life goals. And I'm not joking with that at all. And that's pretty much one of the things. When you go on my website, also, clement.org, you will find some information there, or you can contact our office, on how to get registered. I also provide personal coaching. I get into my tribe and I do some groundwork with you. I also have one-on-one sessions from time to time with some of my people. And it's been very, 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 very helpful. So make financial independence your target. So now you understand what financial independence really is. But listen to me carefully. If you get this in this lecture, my assignment is done. Note this principle, this fundamental principle. I call it Rule 20. Rule 20 basically says, because one of the things, if you make financial independence your retirement, if you make planning for your retirement, if the goal for your retirement is financial independence, then one thing that is very crucial and important, right, is you must estimate how much you will need tomorrow, right, to be able to cater for your needs now and again. And this is so important. Now, how do you estimate how much you require 5, 10 years from now? How do you estimate it? And that's exactly what I want to quickly show you. Because if you get this, it will help you a great deal. The first thing you want to assess is how much do you expend on a monthly basis. So if, for example, right now, your monthly expenses to keep your family, to pay your bills, to run your family, to run your expenses, either as a person, and note this, even your company can retire. Even your company can be financially free. Even your business can be financially free. Financial freedom is not only personal. It's not only personal. It can also be organizational. And it's something that everyone listening to me right now, need to listen to and need to follow, to the letter. So if your monthly expenses, for example, is a million naira, that could be about 3,000, less than 3,000, about $2,500, or about 2,000 pound sterling, right? If your monthly expenses is 1 million naira, so let's just use Nigerian naira as our example, right? That means in a year, you require 12 million naira to keep up with your basic expenses right now. Now, that is also, it's a pointer to where you are right now, but not exactly where you will be in the next 20 years or 5 years or 10 years. Now, certainly, if you use Rule 20, all you need to do basically, if you want to take it on the basic level, you multiply 12 million by 20. That gives you an idea of how much you should have in form of assets, in form of investments. And this is very important. So if your if what you require to keep up with your basic bills on a daily, monthly basis for a whole year is 12 million naira, 1 million a month, then what that means is that if you multiply that by 20, I call that rule 20. If you multiply that by 20, what you need to have in form of asset is 240 million naira. Now, guess what? You'll be considered financially free. You'll be considered financially independent if you have 240 million naira in form of assets or investment. Now, what that communicates is that if you earn at least 5% of that asset every year, you'll be capable of taking care of all your annual monthly needs without you touching your principal. And that's a good place to be. And as a matter of fact, you can actually continue to consolidate. And that's why you see some people keep working harder, because the purpose and the vision is much higher than where they are. One of my life goals, for example, is to sponsor 1,000 children through school. Now, that vision is not just about me. It's also about other people. So I've got no choice but to be rich. It's part of my plan. And that's exactly the way everyone listening to me right now got to think. Now, so if you make financial independence your goal, your target, the basis for estimating how much you will need in the future is what I just shared with you. So you need to estimate the likely cost of living when you eventually retire. So if you are 30 right now and you plan to retire at 40, then in 10 years' time, it means you must at least have 240 million naira in form of cash, asset, or investment. And then if it gives you the least return on investment of up to 5%, then you are considered to be financially independent. Number 2 step you must take in order to plan your retirement is start now and start early. For those of you who are much younger, you are in your 20s, I congratulate you. Start early. It is possible for you to even retire at 30. It's possible for you to retire at 35. It's possible. The earlier you start planning for your retirement, the better you will be, for it. This is so important. Start early. Puts you at an advantage. There's a book I'm currently reading now, and that book blew my mind. I mean, it is story-like material and very, very instructive. Very, very instructive. And for those of you who are in my tribe and those of you who want to join the tribe, I will encourage you, just get in touch with our office, and you'll be glad, because I'm going to be making that book as our next month recommendation. You guys got to list. You got to read that book. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. All right. So start early. Start early. Now listen to this carefully. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. It's not how much you make that matters, but how much you keep that counts. And this is very, very important. You can earn big and still end broke. Now, the number 3 is get continuous financial education. That's why seminars like this, whether webinars or live sessions or pre-recorded sessions, those are classes you must attend. Materials, books. I'm passionate about seeing people create wealth legitimately. I hate seeing people poor. It's my life calling. I personally believe that my calling is to damage poverty, and I'm not going to leave any stone unturned. And so I'm hungry for more knowledge anywhere I can find it about finance and how people can succeed economically. That's my life calling. That's my purpose. I already know that. And so you got to invest in continual financial education. You can never outgrow the need to constantly update yourself. And this is very, very important. Financial education is what provides you with the capacity to make informed decisions. And this is so important. Then number 4, which brings me to my topic, which brings me to the subject of real estate. You now need to select the right investment instrument. You need to select the right vehicle. Now, there are several vehicles by which people have created wealth. Some people have, there's a concept called the new retirement. And there are people who have created wealth, who have, entered some dimension of retirement just by, by innovation and creativity. That's what's referred to as new retirement, right? But the most reliable that nearly anybody listening to me right now can play in is is leveraging real estate. Of course, there are several other instruments, there are other vehicles. Now, listen to this carefully. Your vehicle will determine how early or late you arrive at the wealthy place. And this is so important. It will determine how early or late you arrive at the wealthy place. If you are to journey from here to Port Harcourt and you decide to go by trekking, you will arrive there, just that it will take you longer time and you need to have a lot of stopovers. And then certainly to take you more time. And then you can go by road, by driving. You will get there certainly, but it also take you a bit of time, but much faster than someone who goes by trekking. But if you go by flight, you go by plane, you are more likely to arrive there earlier than everybody else. Not because you are smarter, not because of your race, not because of your creed, not because of your religion, not because of your height, not because of your gender, not because of anything, and not even because of your education, but because of your choice of vehicle. You know, one of the things I found out about real estate and why it's my recommendation anytime, any day, because you don't actually get rich to acquire real estate. You acquire real estate to become rich. And is one of the fastest, vehicle for not only creating wealth, but also retaining it. And so this is important. There are a few truths you must bear in mind. Few truths I just want to drop concerning real estate. Number one, real estate is the most reliable vehicle of wealth creation, right? I call it prosperity made easy. So you don't need too much technicalities. Yeah, if you were to be doing real estate in other parts of the world, of course, you need to do a bit more education. Of course, there's some degree of education you require, even here in Nigeria, but it's basic and just about anybody can play in it. All right. Number two, real estate is the most reliable vehicle of wealth retention and preservation. I already mentioned that earlier on. Stock market can crash, even though it's still viable, it's still good, but it's long term, but it's so volatile and it's subject to a lot of forces. Businesses can go bankrupt. So even though business is also a vehicle for creating wealth, it's also important. And so it's important to recognize that real estate is far more reliable than most other instruments. Now, I'm not saying that there are no other instruments you can use to facilitate, but my focus today is on real estate. Number three, real estate is the only vehicle of wealth creation that does not have incremental possibilities. Now, where you live, if you are a tenant, wherever you live right now, has not increased in size and may not increase in size. But I can tell you for a fact that the value continues to rise. The size of that parcel of land may not increase, but the value continues to rise. And it often rises at geometric progression. I remember a property were to buy somewhere some time ago, and somebody was telling that this property was put in the market at 800,000 naira just a few years ago, but now it's going for 15, 20 million. And so, and you see, that's the beauty of real estate. No incremental possibilities, geometric growth. And that's what you find in real estate. Real estate is also one of the few, if not only wealth creation vehicle that appreciates without your effort, without effort on your part. And those are some of the very important reasons why I'm recommending it as a superior vehicle for creating wealth. And this is so important. Number five, real estate does not expire because it has a lifetime value. Now, there's no degree of technological advancement that will ever replace real estate. None. There will never come a time when people will go so virtual, go so technological that they will be sleeping on their website or their portal. So it's important you recognize this. No matter the advancement in technology, real estate will still be a very relevant thing. Number six, and final one, location matters in real estate investments. And let me say this. When it comes to this issue of location, it's important. It's not about distance, because distance is relative. When you say some place is far, it's far to where you are. But there are people who walk closer to that place that you said is far. It's important to recognize that when we talk about location, it's about the quality of people that reside in a particular geography. And that's what impacts on the value. The people, what makes piece of real estate in Banana Island that expensive is the quality of people there. And so it's important to recognize this. So you move in the direction where people of timber and caliber, where they move to, that's where you should you position yourself. This is very, very important. Real estate is all about positioning. You can position yourself in the direction no one else is facing. All right. And this is so important. Now, how do you go into real estate as a means for planning your retirement? Let me just wrap up with this. Number one is land purchase. It's the simplest, easiest way of getting and planning your retirement. I remember a friend of ours who started buying, he had a contract with a telecom company, and the contract was supposed to last for just 3 years. And he knew that there was no gratuity at the end of these 3 years. So all he did was, with this income, he kept acquiring massive expanse of land and was perfecting his title document and then securing his land. And now, immediately after that period, he just started to resell and start buying properties in prime locations. And that's strategic. This is what people do. You can buy 6 plots, 1 acre, sell 3 to build on 3. You can buy 2 acres, sell 1 acre to build on 1, or build on a section of that 1. These are strategic things you can do. Land purchases. All right. You can buy land in developing areas, wait for a few years, and sell when development comes and have increased in value. You can buy land and build. Some people buy and build. It's part of the things we do as well, right? You can buy land, build a house. You can build a shop. You can build an office complex. You can do hostel if your property is sited close to an institution, a higher institution. These are things you can do. Although rental income is the worst form of real estate investment, but it is still a lot better than most other vehicles. And so it's important to recognize that. You can also embrace off purchase. These are methods by which you can go into real estate by way of achieving your retirement. Imagine that between now and the next 10 years, every 2 years you own a property. Every 2 years. In 10 years, you would have built and owned at least 5 properties. Even if you lost your job by whatever reason, even if you are retrenched, even if you are affected by whatever, those 5 properties is capable of giving you rental income that is able to sustain you and your household. And listen to me carefully. If you prepare for bad times, you will always have good times. If you prepare for bad times, you will always have good times. Off-plan purchase is another major thing you could do. You buy a property during construction or before construction. And these are options that you can explore. There are many, many options that we want to explore. I want to end with this story because of my time. There are many, many options that you can use to plan for your retirement using real estate. But let me end with this story because it will give you some degree of insight. Just in conclusion, I heard a story of an unschooled landlord. Thank you, Mr. Akpa. I know my time is up. This unschooled landlord, he set out a plan, and the plan was that he was going to build a house every year. And he was going to build a house. I beg your pardon. He was going to build a house. He was going to build 12 houses, and his intention was that one house would cater for 1 month family expenses, 1 month obligation. That's one thing he did. And so he instructed his caretaker, please don't put out each of these houses out for let at the same time. So when each tenant pay for every building, when payments are made for their rent, it comes in. So he named each house January, he named the other one February, he named the other one March, and on like that. So by creating a portfolio of investment properties, he was able, even though he doesn't have the degree of education that most of us have, he was able to create assets that's perpetuating cash flow for him without him having to rely on government or any system created by man. I believe if you do likewise, even if it's just 5 houses you were able to accomplish, I know people who have done that even to prepare for their children's college education, right? You are married right now and your children are still young. Don't be deceived. Whatever it is that you are paying as school fee right now is nothing compared to what you pay in the future. All right. And so that is my encouragement to you today. If you set out a plan, if it's every 3 years, you must own a house. You will realize that actually all these matching clothes will not matter to you. All this party, all this trying to please people, trying to show face, trying to be like people, trying to impress people won't matter to you. You follow your plan. And that's pretty much my encouragement to you today. If you follow that plan, no matter most plans that come to fruition are very simple. They are not complicated. And I just gave you one. Embrace it. No matter where you are right now, there's always a real estate investment that's suitable for you. And we've got lots of that already on our platform. And for those of you who may be listening to me and say, sorry, where do I start from? I don't even have any means of livelihood. Stay tuned. There are many more opportunities that we're going to be sharing in the course of this program today. Thank you so much for listening to me. I believe I've added a bit of value. Thank you once again.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you very much. That was an awesome section. Thank you very much. Because of time, we want to take a couple of questions. So if there's any question in the comment section, so let's take 1 or 2 questions because our next speaker is already on standby. So let's take some couple of questions. So do we have any question? Do we have any question? So while we wait for questions, can I ask a question, sir?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. I want to ask this question. I mean, most often than not, a lot of young people in, the larger percentage of Nigerian population are youth. I mean, under 25. Some of them are still in higher institutions. Some of them are probably in NYSC camp. And some of them are just wondering at what point can they start planning for this retirement? Because if I'm still thinking of how to get a job, how should I be planning? At what point can I start planning for retirement? Or is there something one should even watch out for even before you venture into a particular career path?
Those are multidimensional questions. And if I want to pick them, that's another lecture on its own. But the very important thing we must bear in mind, since retirement is my focus, is that you start planning for your retirement from day one. The day one you start, you get a job, you start earning an income, you start planning. You plan your exit before you resume. It's important. It's extremely crucial. In terms of career planning, that's another subject altogether, right? Most times, what people go to study in school is often in alignment with their purpose. And so my recommendation for those people is that you pursue the area of your strength. The cheapest way to operate under a course is to operate outside your strength, to operate outside your purpose. So my recommendation, anytime, any day, is any young man, any young woman listening to me right now, you don't currently have a job. Once you start to earn a living, once you start making income, you start planning for your retirement. And it begins by the first thing, you see, one thing that defines the direction, that defines your priorities is the direction of the money. And I've said it time and again, every one of us do not need expertise to spend. We all are gifted at spending. We are all endowed with the capacity to spend, but we just do not have the capacity to make, manage, and multiply it. And that's exactly why you need financial education now and again. So my recommendation is from the moment you start earning, no matter how little, right, there are 3 things you will do with the money that you must do with money before you start spending. In fact, there are four things. Number 1 is you must give. Number 2, you give. You give because the money came because there are forces that are working in your favor. Number 2 is you also give. You give to a force that is making things happen. You give to people that need help around you. And then number 3 is save. Number 4 is invest. So you need a structure. When you join my tribe, I'm going to be providing you all those coaching assessments. And like I said, it's not about how much money you make, but how much money you keep. So that's pretty much what it is. I don't know if that helps.
Yes, that does. Thank you very much. I want you to talk about the Financial Freedom Masterclass. Okay. Although we have a question, but before we take that question, just talk, how can people register? Is there a number to call? All right. So because a lot of people have been, there are so many things that, so people are listening to us, watching us right now to be part of the Financial Freedom Masterclass. All
right. So all you need to do to join the Financial Freedom Masterclass, just call the number. For those of you who are watching us international, from outside the country, just dial +234 070 08797. Can you hear me? 0708
yes
797 0441 0708 7970441. Just dial that number and then make your booking. We are not having any financial freedom masterclass this month, but certainly we'll be having next month. So you can book ahead of that time. I do a lot more. It's a 2-day packed session, and there are things that I do. And in fact, let me say this here. Anybody who registers for that masterclass, I'm going to give them 1 hour coaching, one-on-one coaching. So there are things I do. I can't be sharing all of that on a platform like this. I'll give it to you free of charge. So I will give you tools. I'll give you quite a number of things. I also show you my revenue model. That's what I'm going to share with you. Yeah. Yeah, there's a question here.
Wow, the network. Yes, the network didn't allow us to hear the last part. You said you were giving us something.
Okay, I said
for anybody that
anyone,
registered.
yes, okay. Anyone who registers for the next edition of Financial Freedom Master is going to come up next month of November. We are not having any session this month because of the events this month. So next month we're going to be having. All you need to do is contact the number I gave out earlier, 0708-797-0441. And I said that I'm going to be sharing with you tools that has helped me work. I'm going to give you a one-on-one coaching session, so you have opportunity to interact with me directly, and then we'll deal with your specific issues. Those who have attended the class and those who belong to my tribe also understand this. One of the advantages you derive from registering for this masterclass is that you also join my tribe, a tribe of wealthy origin, and it's a unique platform that if you want to create wealth, there's no better place to be. So whether you're a professional, you run your own business, I do all those coaching and I provide assistance where I can. So somebody's asking a question. Benedict is asking, sir, you said rental income is not the main deal we would get from real estate. Sir, please, what is the main deal? Okay, so I said it's the worst form of maximizing real estate property. I didn't say it's bad, you know. Listen, if you build a house for 50 million, for example, or you built 50 million average, and you are getting 4 to 5 million naira annually, the value of the property certainly continues to appreciate, but what you are generating on an annual basis is not capable of maintaining that property. So I often recommend that there are other things I can show you. One of which is, if you built, let's say, let me dish it out. If you built six blocks of flats, for example, and you sell off 2 units, you did out 2 units out of that, you will recoup a chunk of your capital. You unlock a chunk of your capital tied down to that property, and you're able to replicate that same order again and again, while you are still generating rental income from the rest. That's a free gift I just wanted to give you. Yeah, somebody's asking another question here, saying, thanks, Mr. Clement. I'm very much interested in how you can start acquiring landed property even when you don't have enough to buy in now. How do I start, or where do I start from? No capital. Okay, so what you need to do is just contact our office lines. There's a line that will be scrolled shortly, and you will get more details in the course of this program. I don't need to talk too much on that one. It's very cheap, very easy. Yeah. So, Mr. Akpa, over to you. We can't hear you.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. We are going to be just taking this. This is going to be the last question. There's a question says, why is there no land purchase in the Million Homes Reloaded? Somebody's asking, where is there no land purchase?
We still have landed properties you can buy, prime, general areas of, special prime areas. But the truth of the matter is, we realize as a company that to address the housing shortfall in the country, it's not just about land alone. Even though land is a valuable resource in making that happen, what we're focusing on right now is more about unlocking the debt, the debt capital. That's pretty much what we're doing right now. and it's by infrastructural development, by housing development. And that's what will even boost the economy in general. Over the next 1 year, our focus is to provide 1,000 homes, and that's what we're already working towards. So that's the reason why we're not doing that. So I'm sorry, but there are landed properties. You can go to properties.lifepagebroup.com and you see some of the properties that we have, properties.lifepagebroup.com. Somebody says, see, I think we have to bring in Shola so that please, we'll
So
see
we need
how
to
we can
bring
take
in the
your
next
questions.
speaker.
Yes. Because I know
Yes, we need to
this
bring in
session,
the next speaker.
the next session is going to be hot. You need to listen to this woman. She's an amazing woman, and I've listened to her lecture at different times. She's a practitioner. You know, one of the things I would try to do on this platform, on our platform, is to bring in people who are practitioners, not theoreticians, not people who tell the stories, but people who walk the talk. And it's a great honor today that we'll be bringing on and bringing up Shola Adeshakin. We appreciate the fact that she was able to make it for this program. So, Mr. Akbar, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. That was an awesome section. So let's appreciate Mr. Oladipupo Clement. Go to the comment section and drop some fire emoji there as we welcome our next speaker. So like we said, I believe the next speaker is ready, and I believe she's set. So any moment from now, the program director is going to be rolling out our profile, and so we are going to be bringing the next speaker up. So coming up next is Shola Adeshakin. So go to the comment section and welcome her. Let's go to the comment section and welcome her.
Introducing Shola Adeshakin, investment coach. Shola Adeshakin is a multi-dimensional author, speaker, and finance expert. Experienced and versatile chartered accountant with about 18 years hands-on experience on personal and SMEs finance. She is a personal finance coach, trainer, and conference or seminar speaker. Through her blog and the Smart Stewards Academy, she has helped many men and women bounce back from stress to rest and from debt to wealth. She holds a BSc in Applied Accounting from Oxford Brookes University, United Kingdom. She is a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Shola Adeshakin.
Awesome. Good evening, everyone. I am excited to be here. Thank you for the
Good
welcome.
evening, ma. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you for the warm welcome.
It's good to have you, ma. It's good to have you. We're expectant. And okay, ma. The floor is yours, ma.
Awesome. Thank you again to the organizers of this event. Like I said already, I am glad to be here, and I hope that in the next few minutes, I would be able to interact with you and throw some light your way along the topic area that has been given to me. So I have slides, and I do hope that it will be displayed. Is somebody going to display my slides for me? Okay, awesome. So please display my slides if you can. It would be my pleasure to share my slides with everybody who has tuned in. I am here basically to talk about the topic real estate acquisition for professionals. So I need to confirm if I can share my screen from my end. Please let me know if I can share my screen so that we can get things going from here. Or if you're going to share that from your end, please let me know so that I can just take care of things really quickly. Okay, so I've been told to share on the topic real estate acquisition for professionals, the do's, the don'ts, and the strategies. Now, real estate is something I have been interested in for a long time. And of course, in recent years, being an investment coach myself, I have, gone into real estate as part of asset classes that we have invested in over the last few years. In addition to that, I have worked with clients that have invested heavily in real estate, and I've seen them practically benefit, from the rewards. Of course, the risks are there, but I have seen, on a close level basis, the benefits, the dividends of real estate. So, I mean, I think I'm more than qualified, to share some of the things I'll be sharing with you. And one of the things I would first of all like for you to know is that please do not think real estate is something that is reserved for those who are really wealthy or for those who are rich real estate is an asset class that can be embraced by everybody, an asset class that everybody, as long as you start to earn money, even if you are still in school, knowledge is key. You can start to learn the dynamics, learn the basics, allow the light of the knowledge, impact your soul so that it can, prepare you for the years ahead. Okay, so I am still waiting for my slides. Please just go on already. I need no further introduction. I believe through the flyers and a bit of the profile that have been read. Please go on in my next slide. I have been introduced. I am Shola Adeshake again. I'm an investment coach and the founder of Smart Stewards, a financial literacy platform through which we seek to, help people achieve their financial goals. I am also an investment coach within my investment club. In the last, pretty much 2 years, we have done close to $3 million in different asset classes. Okay, I'm an author of about 8 books. My books are available on Amazon and just everywhere. So today I want to talk about one of the asset classes that we are practically invested in, asset classes that I have seen wealthy people, high net worth individuals, those you call HNIs, invest in. And I hope to share some practical examples that would encourage and motivate you and I, to embrace real estate, to embrace the dynamics, to seek the knowledge, and to do more. So I'm talking about the do's, the don'ts, and the strategies. Next slide, please. Now, let's quickly talk about real estate. I believe that the speaker who went ahead of me already demystified the word real estate and probably just explained. Mr. Clement, that was a good job, explain the dynamics and all of that. But I am just going to zoom in a little bit into, real estate, even though I would be talking from an investment point of view. My topic is real estate, acquiring real estate for professionals. So I'm just going to teach the basics of real estate vis-a-vis and in addition to other asset classes. And today, briefly, we'll talk about 8 basic things you need to know about real estate, the do's, the don'ts, and the strategies. Next slide, please. So what is real estate? I was reading about real estate and, I stumbled on some interesting facts. And I'm like, that word has become so generic that if you do not take a step backward sometimes to understand and to appreciate and embrace the real meaning, you would get lost in the way people call real estate. And, we need to sometimes unbundle words to get to the root, to literally understand what it means, But right before I talk about real estate, as an investor, when we talk about investment, literally investment is you putting in your money into something with an expectation that in the nearest future, you will earn returns and your capital will come back to you. In the world of investments, on investing, there are about 4 or 5 asset classes, and real estate is just one of them. So as an investment coach, I just wanted you to know that real estate is just one type of asset class. You have equity stocks, you have fixed income securities, you have cash and cash equivalents, you have real estate, you have derivatives. So, even though we are talking about real estate today, I just wanted you to know that there are other asset classes. So if you're thinking, oh, real estate, the way they say real estate, everybody is in real estate and they are calling billions, they are calling dollars and millions. And you're kind of confused. You are seeing doubles when you see figures. I just felt to let you know that, real estate is just one aspect of investing, and you might at your level, depending on your financial capability, embrace some of the other asset classes as well. Okay, so real estate is one asset class. Now let's talk about what real estate is exactly. So real estate, according to Investopedia, okay, I think I need to read from my slide as well. Please go on to the next slide. Let me quickly read this to you. Real estate is the land along with any permanent improvements attached to the land, whether natural or man-made, including water, trees, minerals, buildings, homes, fences, and bridges. Real estate is a form of real property. So 2 words, real, genuine property. It differs from personal property, which are things not permanently attached to the land, such as vehicles, books, jewelry, furniture, and other form of equipment, according to Investopedia. And I think that kind of, explains the dynamics and the basics of real estate. So anything that has to do with land or anything that is attached to land is real estate. Okay, so when you're thinking about it, some people would say, oh, I'm a real estate dealer. Yes, I get it. I'm going to still come into the categories of players in the real estate. But you see, you talk to some people and they're like, yeah, I'm in the real estate. What exactly are you doing? What do you, well, I'm a broker, So you really don't own real estate. You're just a player in the real estate industry. But yes, but it is important that we get to understand, because some people, all you're able to do for starters is to buy a land in Mowe. And when people are talking about real estate, you say, no, me, I'm not in real estate. But you already bought a land. Okay, you see, you already bought a land. Some of us, you already built, a small shop, a small structure. Some of us have even bought farmland. It is yours. Even though that may fall under agriculture, but the fact that you own that piece of land shows that you are in the real estate industry. Next slide, please. Okay, so I have already defined real estate. There are 8 things I quickly want to touch on very quickly in terms of characteristics, in terms of things you need to know. So out of the asset classes that I already showed you as part of my earlier slide, real estate is about the only asset class that is a space-time product. So it has the ability to generate income over time in exchange for the use of space. So that's what we call the space-time uniqueness that other asset classes do not have. Okay, so in exchange for using your space, people pay you money over time. They pay per annum, they pay every 5 years. You lease out maybe a land or a property, and they pay you. So when you buy mutual funds, when you buy stocks, when you buy all of those other things, those ones do not have this space-time uniqueness. So this is one of the things that characterize that differentiates, or let me say distinguishes real estate from other asset classes, the space-time product. Next slide, please. Okay, number 3 thing that I would want you to know is the types of real estate you should know about. Okay, you have residential, you buy a land, you build on it, or you buy a house and then you start to live in it. Okay, new construction, new homes, old homes that you buy and you just renovate. Those are residential real estate. Commercial real estate, of course, includes shopping centers, malls, and all of that. Industrial real estate, talking about manufacturing, buildings, property, as well as warehousing. And of course, you have land, my dear land. Land. Land includes vacant land, working farms. I already said that. Some of us are invested in farmlands. And you're like, but, they are talking about real estate. I'm not into real estate. As long as you have the title, you have a landed property that is being used, not a property now. You have a land, a farmland, that is real estate, going by, the definition I gave above. So let's unbundle it. Don't feel intimidated when people are saying, oh, this person has a land in Ikoyi, this person has a land in Banana Island, or a property. The truth of the matter is, as long as you have paid your money to acquire a piece of property, yes, I know life is in phases, men are in sizes, you qualify, okay? You qualify to be called an owner or a developer or whatever the case, a player in the real estate industry. Next slide, please. Let me quickly talk. Remember, I'm talking about 8 things, and this is the third. Let me talk about some characteristics I would like for you to know. Now, there's the real estate market and the real estate investments. There are key players in the real estate market. I'm just going to get to that in a bit and show you some of those things. But what are some of the characteristics of the real estate market in comparison with other asset classes? And I was deliberate starting this class with, showing you other asset classes, because I wanted to kind of show you the distinction that real estate has, from these other classes. Now, the real estate market is a highly layered local market, okay? Heterogeneous products. It is mostly private transactions. You would agree with me that a lot of things happen in real estate that it is, I'm not saying there are no regulations. There are regulations, of course. There are documents, there are legal things that you do, but it is not as strict as when you buy mutual funds. No, when you buy mutual funds, they will tell you buy stocks, they will tell you this and this, or NSE, CSCS, they are monitoring when you buy. Instantly, you get an alert that you have bought some shares. When you sell, you get an alert that some of your shares have been sold. Those are quite regulated. But in my opinion, real estate is kind of, how do I put it now? Anybody can go into real estate. You can wake up today to say, I want to buy a land, I want to buy a property. And apart from you trying to do verification of the documents, it's easily, most times, culminated. I mean, the transactions, the purchase, the sales are usually done easily without a lot of external interference or regulations, okay? So another characteristics is that there are sophisticated and unsophisticated investors. You have people who buy real estate in, the range of billions, and you have people who still buy land at 250. At my level, you're buying 250, paying 250 every quarter. You're seeing people who are buying houses, in the range of 500 million, and you're seeing people who are buying farmland for 200,000 somewhere in Oyo State. So you have different kind of players, and then sometimes it could be unorganized and free for all markets. Now, go back to my slide, please, and let's talk about real estate investments. Now, why should you buy real estate? Let's talk about it. What are some of the things that you should consider in terms of pros and cons? Heterogeneity again, okay, durability. You buy a real estate product. If you buy a land, you buy a house, and you're good with all your documentation and due diligence, it's there for you, okay? It is there for you for a long time. Sometimes some real estate investment, if you don't get it well, there's a bit of lack of transparency. Sometimes high startup costs, sometimes highly illiquid. You have a property on the market you want to sell, unlike stocks and shares that you can easily sell immediately. Sometimes it might be a bit difficult offsetting or, selling your real estate. Now, I am not saying this to say real estate is not good. I'm just trying to show you the characteristics of the real estate market. And then, of course, there are vulnerabilities and risks. Okay, having said that, the fifth point I would like you to know, next slide, is just a few ways you can make money in the real estate market. Next slide. Number one, capital appreciation. Do I need to say that? I'm sure a couple of us are watching this. You have bought a land at some point and then you are reselling. I was having a discussion with a friend of mine yesterday, and I'm still going to go into the gist of this. About, say, 13 or 14 years ago, a friend of mine told me, there was this land they were selling somewhere, blah, blah, blah. And it looked interesting. Young ladies, we were married, and so much energy, so much, vitality and vigor. And then, without doing any due diligence, we bought the land. And then, of course, the only thing we got was receipts. We never bothered to ask about, the documentation and all of that. And then, after about 1 or 2 years, we realized that it was a bit difficult getting a hold on the person who sold the land to us. And anyway, why am I citing this example? So I was talking with my friend. I think we bought a plot back then for 250,000. That area has become so developed. Now, my friend was telling me that a plot of land in that area now goes for about maybe 5 or 7 million. So look at it, from 250,000. Well, let me mention that we never got our land and we never saw the person again. And unfortunately, the person was our go-between pastor. So it was one of those, cases and issues of investment gone wrong. But that has not deterred us from buying land thereafter. So the ways you can make money in the real estate market. So imagine if, I paid 250 for that property and everything went well. By now, if I hadn't sold it, I would be selling it for about 7 million. Now you do the calculation. Do the calculation. Okay, number 2, cash flow income. You buy a property, you resell. No, you buy a property, you rent it out, or you build a property, you rent it out. You have cash flow income. Now, I have a first-hand example of how real estate could come to the rescue and help you generate cash flow. Now, one of my clients and mentors, somebody I reverse so much. I mean, I've worked with him back and forth for close to 2 decades. And this year of COVID, in which, a lot of people have complained about, stuff not working, cash flow businesses are failing, is real estate investments, is real estate properties are what he has been comfortably, and I said that word again, comfortably cashing in from. Now, he had one of his properties gives him about 140 million per annum. Now, he was fortunate to have listed it out to, quite a big reputable firm. And, so this is not essay because I manage some of those things in his portfolio. Now, imagine how much of the expenses would you have, or how much of money would you need that 140 million hitting your account from one property would not cater for? Tell me. Okay, so that's an example of how you can earn rental income. Now, I heard somebody saying, 140 million, when am I going to get that? There. I'm going to show you something. See, it's about mindset. Playing in the real estate industry is like doing any other thing in life. You starting small. Like Dave Ramsey says, personal financial success or personal finance is a marathon and not a sprint. Because we are so used to doing things the way of, okay, let's quickly get the money. We want to make quick money. That's why we end up getting fatigued along the line. That's why we get, a bit discouraged when things don't go our way. But when you have a long-term approach to investing, to personal finance, to any area of your life, trust me, it works like magic. The universe would connive with you and support you. And over time, you would reap the dividends. So cash flow income, of course, another way to make money in the real estate industry is real estate related income, such as commissions. Now, I'm still going to get to a slide where I would show you the players in the real estate industry. But for some people, they do not have properties, but they sell. I have a friend who is a real estate agent. All she does is to broker deals. She introduces the buyers to the seller. She has learned the trade. So she's not necessarily earning cash flow or enjoying capital appreciation, but she brokers some deals. Sometimes she gets at 5%, she gets at 10%, and she's fine. Okay, so some of you may not have the capacity to build or to buy a land right now, but if you are bent on playing in the real estate industry, you can earn through rental income, through commissions, and all of that. And of course, the other way by which you can earn from the real estate industry is ancillary services. For example, now those who build houses, they have loads and loads of people who supply materials. Do you see? So what we are talking about real estate, which has to do with land and property. Let us not limit or restrict ourselves to, only those who are buying or only those who have the money. You can play in the real estate industry and work your muscles, work the real estate muscles until you're able to buy your own property. So I consult for a construction and real estate firm, and I've done that for about 15 years now. And I know the huge and big projects that we have done. We work with vendors that supply sand, that supply iron, that supply metals, that supply granite, that supply a whole lot. They're making money. Now, you cannot tell me that they are not enjoying or reaping the benefits from the real estate industry. For somebody listening to this, again, that's why I said let's unbundle real estate. Let's not limit our thoughts about real estate to only those who have money to buy, to develop. Okay, you can start from ancillary services, small businesses with the real estate dealers. You're supplying stuff, or you are brokering, you are earning commission, and then you can build your own house, and then you can enjoy capital appreciation. My next slide, please. Now, why should you go into real estate investments. Next slide. Already I told you that, see, real estate is just one asset class type, and there are others. But should I tell you something that I stumbled on as I was preparing for this presentation? In Nigeria, I can't remember the year exactly. Statistics showed that the real estate market in Nigeria is about 59 trillion naira. Real estate. And listen to this. Whilst the stock market is about 12 trillion naira only. So real estate is about ×5 of the equity market. You know, all of those big amounts that they mention when you're watching the news, when people are saying, oh, the stock market is low, the stock market is high, the stock market is bullish, the stock market is bearish. Real estate does about ×5, ×6. Okay, so let's do the maths. ×6, actually, 12 trillion to 59 trillion. So you see that it is really big an industry, and everybody, I tell you, everybody should be a player in that industry. Now, quickly, I'm going to run through this very quick because I still have quite a number of slides. Why should you be why should you play in the real estate industry? Why should you invest in the real estate industry? For self-use and occupancy, ownership and control, yes, you can display the slide. Cash flow from returns, preservation of assets. These things should motivate you, to have a say or to have a stake in the real estate industry and to consider real estate investment. Portfolio diversification. Don't just have shares, agriculture. Start with a little of real estate so your portfolio is widely diversified. Security or capital, leverage, collateral for credit, capital gains tax, capital appreciation, high operating yield. Those are some of the reasons you should go into real estate. The next one. Now, let's quickly talk, because we could talk about some of the advantages of real estate, but trust me, just like every other asset class and just like every other thing, there are disadvantages and risks. One of the disadvantages and risks is the illiquidity of real estate. I already mentioned that earlier on. Sometimes you have you have invested in real estate, you have your property sitting in the market for months, and you need the money quickly for something. So sometimes real estates are quite, I call them the frozen assets. There are three categories of assets. You have the liquid, you have the frozen, and you have the vapor assets. Now, there's no time to go into that, but real estate is kind of frozen because you have to unbundle, you have to tow it, you have to sell it, and it is not as liquid as mutual funds and the other ones. Sometimes, because real estate entails a lot of go between, if you're a landlord, you have tenants, you don't have time, you have an agent who is monitoring it for you. Sometimes improper management could be your undoing. Intrusion sometimes and lack of proper documentation. Almost everybody sometimes would have a story about Omonile, and like the story, like the example I already gave you. I bought the land, and I mean, what has happened? Okay, governmental policies sometimes, government acquisition issues, market and economic cycles. In the Western world, sometimes there are times. Example, I think it was the 2008 economic recession in America that was widely, known and all of that. Real estate crashed, so sometimes there are cycles within the economy and just around the world that impacts real estate, and then legal issues. My next slide, please. Now, at this point, I need to start running. Now, let's quickly talk about the key players. Now, the reason I'm taking you through all of this is to kind of give you a wide set of information, kind of, about real estate, things that should motivate you, things that should inspire you to want to even consider real estate, irrespective of your financial position and all of that. So key players, you have the owners, the people who own the land. You have the builders and developers. And the reason that I differentiated the owner from the developer is that sometimes some people do not own the land, but they are willing to go into joint venture with people who own the land so that they can build and develop. You have consultants, you have financial institutions and the lenders, you have equity investors, people like you have money, you want to put it in a real estate project so that you can earn your money later. You have joint venturers. I mean, over the years, I have worked with people, who have gone into joint venture projects to do amazing projects and real estate projects. And of course, you have the general agents. But basically, these are the 8 key players. Now, the question is, where do you see yourself playing right now? Yes, even though you don't have a property, where can you fit in any of this? Maybe as an agent, and like I said earlier on, like an ancillary service provider and all of that. My next slide. Now, I have talked about real estate, the general things. Now, let's talk about the do's. Please, I need my slides to move faster at this point. Now, the do's. Remember, my topic is real estate, the do's, the don'ts, and the strategy. And I would, spend a bit of time here on this one. Yeah, go back to you must start. Please go back to that slide. It is very important. For years, I worked with construction experts. I worked with architects and all of that. But I had this mind block that because I was an accountant, real estate should not really interest me as much. I worked on projects that ran into billions and billions and billions of naira. Okay. And I just kept doing all of the accounts. But on a personal note, it never occurred to me that it was something I could embrace for myself. I am encouraging you today. There are different mental blocks and conditioning and mindset that might hinder you from playing in the real estate industry. I already said it. Some people might say, no, but I don't have so much money. But I'm actually a student. Can I begin to consider real estate? Yes. At any level, as long as you are knowledgeable. I like to talk about Warren Buffett a lot. Warren Buffett started business at 9. He started to sell stuff. I think at 11, he bought his first set of shares. At 14, the man is 90. He clocked 90 last month. Yes, was it August? Yeah, I think it was August. I can't remember the particular day. Now, I think it was August 30th or 31st. He bought about 40 or 50 acres of land, farmland, when he was 14. So nobody has an excuse. As soon as you are knowledgeable and you can decipher between evil and good, you are good to go on real estate. You must be willing to start. You must have a mindset that, you know what, I am in for this. So if Warren Buffett could buy acres of land, 50 acres, actually 40 or 50 now, at 14, look at him, he's still waxing stronger and stronger in the world of investment. And they call him the Oracle of Omaha. Okay, you can be the oracle of your own space. Okay, so have a mindset of starting already. Here are 7 things to bear in mind. Next slide. Number 1, I already talked about having the right mindset. And this, this cuts across all asset classes. Now, this cuts across whatever you want to do in life. More often than not, we are limited by our subconscious mind. And sometimes by our conscious mind, we are limited by what we see. We are intimidated. We're exasperated by figures. We are like, I can't do this. So they're talking about stocks. They're talking about real estate. For a long time, I thought real estate, when they, people that say, what do you do? Oh, I do real estate. You're like, hey, billionaire. No, let's unbundle it. Let's demystify it. You can start real estate anytime. Even when you lease a land to farm, you're playing in the industry already. Okay? So mindset, have a right mindset that, yes, I can play in this game and I'm qualified. Number 2, have a strategy. Have an overall investment philosophy and a long-term plan. Very critical. Within my investment club, we talk about how you can, diversify your portfolio. Asset classes. Sometimes when an asset class is not doing well, like, in Nigeria, fixed income securities since the beginning of the year, like treasury bills, have not been doing well. You get it? Mutual funds. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, mutual fund at some point was returning 18%. Right now, fixed income back then was returning 16%. Right now, what are they returning? Fixed income will probably give you 1%. Mutual funds maybe like 3%. In times like this, having a properly diversified portfolio and including things like real estate is what will keep your, portfolio breathing and breathing well. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, have a money team. This is very important. And this is something I have practiced and I continue to practice and I continue to teach people. at whatever level of your financial achievements. Even if you're a student, even if you have just passed out of NYC, you must have a money team. You might not be able to pay them, but there are people who influence what you think about money, how you think about investments and all of that. Who should be in your money team? A lawyer, a real estate expert, a banker, of course, you yourself, and key professionals, especially in the area of the asset classes that you have or you wish to have. It is important. Have a money team so that they can advise you. Sometimes we get so excited by, they tell you there's a land here, oh, there's an investment here, and then you're rushing into it. You're not asking the right questions. You're not saying, okay, what are the title documents? Does this have a C of O? Does this have a deed of assignment? Oh, who owns it? Is there an acquisition on this property? You don't know. But just because they say, oh, this land is good, everybody is buying, you go into it. You know, these are things you need to buy, put in place. You need to analyze the risks and the returns. I'm having to rush through my slides now. You need to consider your decisions, due diligence. That's a word you cannot afford to play with in the world of real estate. You have to do your due diligence. You have to evaluate your real estate options, the real estate option, the information you have before you have to evaluate some of those things. And then the investment, purchase, lease, transactions have to be properly consolidated so you don't get your fingers burnt. Remember the example I gave? And I think I've had another, story that touches the earth example as well. But I mean, that was then. Now we know better. We know that we need to put in a lot of effort. Questions to ask, okay, before you invest in any real estate investment opportunity. Next slide, please. Location. Where is it at? Cost. What is the cost? Some of us buy real estate properties or investments that we do not physically visit. Come on, how do you do that? Sometimes also, even if you're not buying, just see, feed your eyes, feed your mind, feed your fantasies. Okay, build your muscles, work the muscles. Okay, don't buy any property, any landed property, any real estate investment property or project without physically visiting. What is the cost? What is the time horizon? Why am I buying this? And I'll show you in another slide some of the various reasons why people buy. What is the cash flow like? Am I buying to sell? Am I buying for my personal house? Okay. What is the costing? What are the lending rates? Do I need to get a mortgage? Do I need to get a loan? Is this a new property? Is it land or is it a property? Is it new or old? What is the real estate market like generally? We must not just be on social media tweeting answers, which is fine. You must also educate yourself and get the necessary knowledge. Okay, the next slide, I am going to have to skip on this because of time. Please take me to the slide after the next slide. If I have time, I will come back to this, okay? The next slide, which is D, talks about something that I call the SGAR factor. Before you invest in real estate or any form of investment, these four things must be very, very paramount to you. What is your current financial situation? Okay, before you put money into anything. And that's why a lot of people get their fingers burned. You are following people who have much more money, who have done a bit more investments, and then they come to you and say, there's this investment, let's quickly do it. The MMA types of investment, you put your money in it. If you're earning 50,000, it's a phase, it's a season. You will earn more at some point. You cannot start to say, I want to buy a property of 20 million when what you earn as at this time and phase of your life is 50,000. So consider your finances. Again, your salary should not go into investment alone. That's where budgeting, and I believe the earlier speaker must have spoken about financial things, considerations you need to do or put in place before you invest. A lot of people, because they hear about an investment, they so much put themselves under pressure. You have to take care of your necessities, your needs to have, your nice to have, do a budget and all of those. And then, yes, a certain percentage goes into real estate. That percentage that goes into real estate is what you will base, your real estate or your investment plans on. Okay. So S, your financial situation. G, your goals. our goals differ. My first son is 12, meaning in another couple of years, he's going to be in the uni. Okay, so if we want him to school overseas or wherever, we have to consider some of those things now, not then. Now, I cannot, be having the same type of investment goals with somebody who is in her 20s, who doesn't have responsibilities already. Now, that person is doing high risk investment. I'm saying, oh yeah, let's do high risk investment. When I know I have certain goals ahead. Now, somebody who is nearing retirement cannot do some of the investments I am doing, because again, you have such a short period of time, and some are even in retirement already. You have to guard your money jealously so that you don't lose it. You can't play in the stock market like some of us will play in the stock market. Okay, your goals, your age. I already mentioned that. You must consider your own age and determine the kind of asset classes that are suitable and how your portfolio is built. And of course, the risk temperament. Some people are conservative, some people are moderate, some people are very aggressive. These are things you need to consider before you invest, and whether in real estate. Quickly, let's talk about the don'ts, and I go into the strategies. 7 things you should not do when it comes to real estate investment. Can I have the slides up? Quickly, I'm just going to run through it. Not having a plan. Do not go into real estate without having a plan. Why am I buying this property? For what reason? Am I buying to hold? Do I want to live in it? Do I want to sell? After how long? Lack of expert advice. Don't buy real estate without getting expert advice. Not having a money team, not having people that can advise you. In any investment, whatever you're doing, you need particular experts for particular field. Real estate is a different world entirely. You can't have a friend who is a banker advising you on real estate. Okay, the next thing, lack of due diligence and research. Overpaying. Sometimes some properties are too way priced above their actual value. When you just shop around, some other times you realize that you can get some property in the same range for an amount. I remember, a while ago we're negotiating for a property, and the agent kept telling us, yes, no, that's the last price. By the time we met with the owners of the property, we were able to get about 5 million discount. Okay, so you must be able to negotiate as well, and then not using trusted hands and incorrect costing overview. My final set of slides, I've talked about the do's, I've talked about the don'ts. Let's talk about the strategies. Number 1, you must have an investment purpose. Next slide. 4 things when you're doing real estate. You will do real estate for 4 different things. You might buy for self-use. Some people just want to buy a house so that I can live in it. I don't want to pay my landlord again. I want to enjoy value appreciation. I want to self-utilize for myself. Some people buy for lease. So they buy and then they lease out. They start to enjoy regular income, value appreciation as well. But again, they start to also pay money repairing. Some people buy and sell short term. That's what you call flip. You can buy, flip, and that happens a lot. I mean, overseas now in America, there are properties that you can buy and flip, foreclosures, buy, flip, turn it around, make money, move on to the next. So some people buy and sell long term. Some people buy and sell short term. So what is your own investment purpose? Even if you can't afford it now, those are some of the things you need to consider as time goes on. Number 2, be aware of other real estate's indirect investment options. Again, demystifying real estate. Real estate is not just about I buy a house and yes, the house is there, I'm seeing it. Some other times you can go into real estate without owning a physical property like that. There are real estate investment trusts. It's very popular abroad, where you all put money together. And I think some firms are doing it in Nigeria as well. And they do the real estate. So all you give them is the money, and then they invest on your behalf and they pay you your returns. There are real estate stocks. There are real estate mutual funds, actually, overseas. There are funds in the US that are real estate. I mean, even in Nigeria, there's a bank. I don't want to mention names. I'm not doing free adverts for anybody, but I am invested in some funds overseas. And even though I'm not invested in real estate funds, but I see a lot of real estate funds UK, real estate funds US. And the good thing is with $200, you can start some of these funds, okay? And then there are real estate sector-focused mutual funds and ETFs, what you call exchange traded funds. There's no time to go into that, but they're like mutual funds. Some banks do it where minimum of 5,000 naira you can buy. It's open ended. You can add to it, and they tell you this fund we are using it for real estate. And again, already, like I said, there are real estate funds and bonds. Now, how do you start? As I wrap up my presentation, I want to start. So you have said, okay, real estate does not necessarily entail having a property, but I want to start. How do you start? Go on to my next slide, please. Number one, get your finances together. Again, you need to consider your financial situation. You can't say you want to invest when you have not taken care of basic things. At the end of the month, you are not able to add and just get your finances together. No, you shouldn't be investing yet, because you must be able to plan your finances on a short, mid, and long-term basis. Get your finances together, have a long-term plan, consider the kind of asset classes you want, get information, and then start saving. Yes, even though I said you can start real estate at any point in time, but these things are very critical. And if you can see that image, pretty much the same thing. Start small. Don't wait till, some people will say, when I earn 200,000 per month, then I'll be able to save 20K, towards my savings and investment. No. If you're earning 20,000 and you're not able to put 2,000 per month, which is 10% or sometimes 4,000 aside for savings and investment, then when you earn bigger, you can get that money. Okay, I am wrapping up now. The final slide, or my final teaching slide, number D, how do you start? Strategy, the power of many. Now, and I could spend my last 2 minutes on this one. This is an age of collaboration. And this is evidenced by what we see happening in Nigeria right now. See how youths, everybody, adults, Muslims, Christians, how we have all put forces together to demand what is right from our government. The power of many. And that is what this year has also taught us. The power of collaboration. There's that saying, African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Real estate can be demystified when you have groups of people within which you can decide to do amazing things together. I remember there was a property we wanted to buy. Was it this year or last year? I can't even remember now. COVID has, changed the dynamics of many things. It was 200 million. How would I have been able to say, okay, I have 200 million and put it into something? But within the club, we put the money together. Some bought 1/10. Some bought full. Some bought half. The joy of it is that, everybody at their level, some with just 250K, whilst each plot was going for 20 million, they bought into it. 1/8, 1/16. That's the beauty of the power of many. Now, some of us, we need to find ourselves within circles, within people that can help us, achieve our goals. I was at a program 2 days ago and I was telling them, when I was growing up, my mom used to have this club. They call them Expire. They go to parties together. They wear ashebi. They do all of those things. One thing they failed to do was to financially invest or do things together. If they were saving as far back as then, 2K, 3K per month, trust me, they won't be struggling financially. Okay? So the power of many. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This is an age of collaboration. Now, you can collaborate with your friends at a level, farmland. You're buying I know the organizers of this program sell real estate, and they're saying there's a real estate somewhere. You have done your due diligence, 1 million. Call 4 friends together. I bought a property, not a property, a land some years back, and it was, good money and all of that. Literally before my very eyes, it is appreciated. Okay, the power of me. So sometimes, and I think 4 friends. Yes, we're 4. We bought it, fenced it round. Even though we are not going to live there, but hey, we could just say one of us sold off one of our own plots, and it was good money. The power of doing things together. Okay, so as a wrap up, please go to my next slide. Again, I am an investment coach. I run the Smart Investment Club, a community of people. We invest in diverse asset classes. Right now, we're in about 17 countries, about 400 members. We do all sorts together, the power of many. The Power of Many. You can check us out, thesmartinvestmentclub.com. Go to my next slide. Books, courses. I'm an author of 8 books as we speak. One of 2 books that should interest you right now, 40 Frugal Rules for a Journey to Financial Freedom. Please, can you go to my next slide? And the Fit to Fly Financial Plan. I published that earlier this year, and it's an amazing book that should help you, accomplish your goals. Okay, so Fit to Fly Financial Plan and 40 Frugal Rules. The Fit to Fly is a course and has a book as well, and the 40 Frugal Rules are books that you can use. And then please, you can reach me if you want to reach me. You can leave that as a final slide on Twitter, LinkedIn, email, website, and just wherever. I would be more than glad to shed more light on some of the things that are shared. So today we have talked about real estate on a general note. We have talked about the do's, we have talked about the don'ts, and we have talked about the strategies. I hope with these few words of mine, I have inspired you a bit to start to consider, investing in real estate. Thank you for having me, and God bless.
Wow, thank you very much. We've had a wonderful evening. Thank you very much. I mean, the whole social media is on fire, is ablaze right now. People appreciate you. A lot of word of encouragement coming. Appreciation rather coming from every corner, both on YouTube and on Facebook right now. That it was an awesome section. We gained a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can you still hear me, ma?
I can hear you. Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I can hear you.
So we are going to be taking questions. Wow. Thank you very much. We are going to be taking questions. If you can take 1 or 2 questions. So the back end team, please, can you just bring up questions in case we have any questions for her? We'll only be taking 1 or 2 questions. We'll only be taking 1 or 2 questions because of our time, so that we can have our third speaker for tonight. So questions. Okay, while we wait for the media team to put up a question, there's someone asking a question here on YouTube directly. So I'm going to read the question from YouTube directly. And the question is, how can you advise on getting genuine property developer on property building and joint venture transaction in prime tertiary institution in Nigeria? I don't know whether you get that question, ma'am.
That question is loaded. We have to unbundle.
I think the person is.
Go ahead. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so please read the question.
Okay, so the person is asking. Okay, the person is asking, how can one identify a genuine property developer in prime tertiary institution? I believe the person wants to go into maybe hostel building or stuff like that, in a place that is very, very close to an hostel. So it's asking, how can one identify a very genuine property developer?
All right,
so what
thank
are the
you.
factors, or what are the key things that people need to look at?
Good question. The internet is your friend, trust me. There are loads and loads of information that you can get on the internet. I am aware that there are groups, there are societies, there are institutions, there are regulatory bodies. I know that you have the National Institute of Surveyors. I know that you have real estate practitioners. Please Google to find out the exact bodies that, kind of regulate real estate. The information is there. The good thing about this generation and what social media has done for us is that you can get reviews. Communities such as Nairaland and all of that, if you type out some of these things, they will bring it out. Real, genuine real estate players in Nigeria, they will bring them out. Okay, so that is number 1. Number 2, one thing you must also consider when it comes to real estate investment is documentation. I could go on and on, but there is no time. The kind of documentation that you need to ask for, that you need to see, that you need to be aware of, You know, that's another ball game entirely. Okay, so pretty much internet, pretty much find information on the internet who are genuine developers that you can work with. Go on social media, the information is there. And when you do get them, make sure that you read up about them to see actual projects, because there are audio real estate companies as well. They tell you they're doing real estate, they're not doing anything. Some real estate players, builders, developers, so to say, they just get, what do you call them, influencers to do stuff for them, and they do not genuinely have all of those things. So I would refer you to the internet. Okay, get information, read up reviews, and I hope that answers the question. Some other times also, depending on the amount of money you have, there are loads of genuine real estate people who want to do joint ventures. You put down the land, they build for you. I have shared and I have facilitated quite a number of such projects. I do the project accounting and all of that. We do all of the feasibility studies, and so some people, they put out the land, real estate developers build on it, and then they give them maybe 2 or 3 units as their equity contribution, as a return of the equity, and the guys can sell, and then the real estate developer takes the remaining whatever. So I mean, there are different ways to go about it, but please, you cannot alienate due diligence from real estate. It is very, very important that you do get your necessary information, have social proof, demand to see their social proof. What have you done? Who have you worked with? What are projects that you have done? Can I see? And I hope that helps. I see somebody asking, what if you're not in Nigeria? How can you be physically there? So see the property. Look at you. You're watching me from the US, from the UK, from Canada, wherever. Get somebody that you can trust to go check the land. Let them do a video call with you whilst they are there. Okay? It's not that difficult. Okay? Distance is no longer a barrier in the world of investment. I have been to 2 or 3 properties in the last 1 month to check out stuff, to physically see things on behalf of my club members. Okay? And, so we did videos shared with those who are interested. So there's no audio anywhere. This is the land. These are the title documents. These are the things to know. I hope that helps. Somebody says, how can one manage risk in real estate? I tell people, in the world of finances, in the financial world, there are 4 types of risk: income risk, expense risk, asset risk, liability risk. Pretty much, I think all 4 risks apply to the real estate. Income risk, okay? You rent out the house and then something happens, the tenant is not able to pay you because COVID happened, or because there was violence, and then things happen. Those are risks that sometimes you do not necessarily have to have control over. But how do you mitigate against risk? Insurance. In Nigeria, a lot of people don't want to do insurance because they believe that insurance companies, permit me to say, are just, in quote, shopping their money. In the Western world, in my course, financial planning, Fit to Buy Financial Planning, I encourage you, to check out that course. It will revolutionize your thinking. We talked about the 7 elements of financial planning, and insurance is a full module on itself. In the Western world, they have loads and loads of insurance types: universal, life, premium, all sorts of insurance, variable insurance, variable life, so many types of insurance. So mitigate against income risk by insurance. Pretty much all the risks can be mitigated against by insurance. Okay. So expense risk is that you keep spending. Sometimes some things happen and then you keep spending on the property, especially if it's a property that you bought and then you have leased out. That the dynamics of that, I don't even want to go into that. Personally, in my own opinion, the sweetest type of real estate is buy, hold short-term, flip, sell, or buy, hold long-term. But leasing, renting, I'm not saying it's not good, but the dynamics sometimes, expense, you have tenants who are always spoiling stuff. You have to keep, those are expense risks. Now, asset risk, relatable or applicable to real estate, the real estate industry, or the real estate, market or investment, is loss of assets, fire sometimes. Even when you invest, some people will not do comprehensive, they just do some kind of real estate insurance that does not cover. And if fire happens, what happens? Sometimes it's a collapse, it's an infrastructural what's the word now? Deficiency. And then there are risks. We don't pay for them, but these things, apply. And then another one is liability risk, especially if maybe you got a mortgage or you got a loan to build a house. Now, if anything happens and you're not able to pay back, what happens? They place a lien, they acquire your property, they forcefully collect it from you. That's a risk. All of these risks can be covered by insurance. Some of them, like they say in agriculture, the natural causes, the one that are caused by natural causes, to a large extent, you can use insurance also to mitigate against such risks. Sometimes professionalism. Some of us, we just want to build something really quick. You get people who are not necessarily qualified, and then they do a shabby work, and then there's the infrastructural deficiencies that you have to correct over and over again. So that basically those 4 risks can be mitigated. Number one, by again, you can mitigate against them by insurance. You can do proper due diligence. You can do your get professionals to advise you so that you don't get your fingers burnt in the process. I hope that helps.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Fantastic delivery. I'm not surprised. I'm not disappointed. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm certainly going to connect with you again, maybe tomorrow or next. Thank you so much for the old social media is on fire already with all the fantastic session delivery. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for the great work you're doing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, people, it's time to celebrate Shola Adeshakin and celebrate her for being a part of this Mega Summit 2020. And so we move on very quickly in with a promotional video. Let's the media director usher us into that very quickly before we bring on the last speaker of the night. Don't want to miss.
Do you know
Very
you can
important.
earn up to 6 figures by leveraging your networks, and you don't have to quit your job to make it this big? We have set up a system to make lives richer irrespective of who you are and what your current status is. All you need to do is get on board and start earning right away. As a partner, you are ushered into a world of new possibilities. By becoming a LifePage partner, you can earn up to 25% on commissions alone when you sell any of our products. You also get amazing prices when you make the highest sales in a month. It's that simple. To register, visit tribe.lifepagegroup.com. You can also reach us on 090-6000-5737 or 090-6000-5747. Be what you want to be. Achieving your dreams has never been easier, faster, and smarter. Select any of our Million Homes investment plans and earn amazing returns.
Million Homes Flex. Invest a minimum of 10,000 Naira monthly for a duration of 1 to 5 years and earn up to 20% compounded return on investment.
Million Homes Hedge. Invest a minimum of 100,000 Naira for 1 and 2 years and earn 21% and 47% returns on investment respectively.
Million Homes Premium. Invest a minimum of 10 million Naira for 3 years and earn 75% returns on investment in cash.
Million Homes Premium Plus. Here, you invest a minimum of 50 million Naira and earn 60% returns in cash and 40% in assets. That is, apartment. Wow!
Growing your cash has never been so simple.
To subscribe, log on to millionhomesafrica.com. Create an account, choose your preferred investment option, select your number of slots and make payment. Please do well to follow us via Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Million Homes AFR. Our phone line remains 090-6000-5737 or 090-6000-5747. Our email millionhomes@lifepategroup.com. Million Homes. Live here.
Or make it fund your living.
All right, welcome back and thank you for joining us once again. So right now, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Let's welcome Mr. Francis Ajilore to take us on creative financing very quickly.
Introducing Francis Ajilore, Managing Director of Million Homes. Ajilore Francis Sololope is the current Managing Director of Million Homes, a subsidiary of LifePage Group. LifePage Group is a real estate investment company, primarily in the business of making life richer. Ajilore Francis is a creative and proactive entrepreneur, as this is evident in some of his recent accomplishments. With close to 10 years of experience in sales, marketing, property management, real estate and property development, his competencies in turning young and emerging brands into competitive brands cannot be ignored. Entrepreneurship is in his DNA. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Ajilore Francis.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good to be here tonight. Like you all know, Mega Housing Summit 2020 is fully sponsored by Million Homes. So don't forget that. You either live here or make it fund your living. That's our mantra. You either live here or make it fund your living. Just before I go to creative financing towards your home ownership, I'd like to touch a little thing on what our last speaker said. One of the key things she said is she's aware that real estate investments, crowdfunding and all of that does happen outside of the country, made reference to USA. But I'm proud to say Million Homes is offering the same thing right here in Nigeria, and we're spreading across Africa. So if you're looking for a credible organization, definitely you can reach out to us at Million Homes. She also talked about, while addressing one of the questions, she talked about ways to mitigate against, to minimize risk or manage risk. And one of the things she talked about was insurance. May I also say that for every product or every development, property development, Million Homes is involved in, we do insurance during construction, we do post construction insurance as well. That way we are able to mitigate against every form of risk, associated risk. So you can be rest assured that dealing with us here at Million Homes gives you some huge measure of peace of mind. You can go to bank with it, you can go to sleep and make your money work for you. In another 1 minute or two, I'd like to talk about a few of our products that were rolled out a few seconds ago. We have what we call 60 days of independent bounty offer, which commenced on October 1st. Quite a number of people have been taking advantage of the opportunity. But the unique thing is, with the 60 days independence bounty offer, with a minimum investment of 100,000, you stand a chance to win any of these items or any of these packages. An all expense paid trip to Dubai, a car, a 2-bedroom apartment, or a home settee. A home settee comprises of, okay, you can all see it on your screen. You know, you have opportunity to win any of these things with a minimum investment of 100,000 naira in Million Homes. We have different products, as you will get to see, and you will be part of the grand draw in the month of December, and you could end up going away with a 2-bedroom apartment, a car, a home setting, or an all-expense paid trip to Dubai. All you need to take advantage of this is to go to investment.millionhomesafrica.com. You need to begin to document that or click on those things if possible right away. Investment.millionhomesafrica.com to sign up with a minimum of 100,000 naira, and you stand a chance to win any of these goodies, any of these benefits, aside from the value you get, aside from the returns on investment or the property that you are buying and getting for yourself. So also, we have under Million Homes, we have various products. We have Million Homes Flex. This allows you to accumulate funds. During the question and answers with Mr. Clement Oladepopo, we found that people were asking, what if I don't have bulk money? What if I'm still a student? You can save, you can invest through platforms like Million Homes Flex, using it to accumulate money, to save up money, to end up buying a land after 2 years, after 3 years, or 5 years. It comes with ROI of up to 20% compounded returns on investment. You can visit the same invest.millionhomesafrica.com to get more information on it. Next is Million Homes Edge. With Million Homes Edge, you can earn up to 21% return on investment in 1 year. In one single year, you can earn up to 21% return on investment and earn up to 47% return on investment if you keep your capital for 2 years. It implies that if you invest ₦1 million in 1 year, you get 1.2 million at the end of 1 year. At the end of 1 year, you get 1.2 million naira at the end of 1 year. If you do for 2 years, you get 47% at the end of 2 years. The next on the agenda on the list is Million Homes Premium. With Million Homes Premium, you earn up to 75% returns in 3 years. In 3 years, you get 75%, but the minimum required investment is 10 million naira. It means if you do a minimum of 10 million naira, at the end of 3 years, you get 17.5 million naira. Just like that. Your 10 million naira may not buy you land in a prime location, but can help you be part of people who provide housing solution to millions of Nigerians out there. Like you all know, Million Homes have a vision to provide 1 million apartments across Africa by 2041. In the next 1 year, our immediate goal is to provide 1,000 units of apartments. So you can be part of people who make this happen. You don't have to go through the stress of buying a genuine land, investigating the document and all of that. Just by dropping the sum of 10 million naira with Million Homes, you can take advantage of up to 75% returns on investment if you do Premium Plus. If you do Premium Plus with minimum investment capital of 10 million naira, you get 17.5 million naira at the end of 3 years. Lastly, you have Million Homes Premium Plus. With Million Homes Premium Plus, you need a minimum capital of 50 million naira. You're wondering, this is quite huge. How many of us could have 50 million naira? I remember the last speaker also talked about doing things together. If you want to go far, go with others. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. You could come together as a team, as a group of friends, key into opportunities like this. And the good side of it is you end up an amazing 100% returns on investment. 60% in form of cash and 40% in form of asset. It means if you do 50 million naira, you get your capital back after 3 years, you get 30 million naira in cash, and you get 20 million naira worth of assets in our prime location. In our prime location, you have an opportunity to bring real estate valuers who will assess the true worth of that property in 3 years' time. And that means it's a way of eating your cake and having it. Is as good as saying in 3 years' time, you can own the house, own cash, and get your capital back. So it's one of the wisest decisions any of us listening to this program, listening to this event, should take advantage of. So now I move straight to the topic, creative financing towards your own home ownership. Quite a number of people also asked Mr. Clement about what if I want to buy land, it's going to take me this long. Like I established last week, what you need is what you need. Is it a car? Is it a land? Is it a house? And the topic in focus is home ownership. So a house is what you need, not necessarily the more money to acquire the house, not more money to buy the land to then build the house. The house is what you need. A house is what you need. So in this case, it means that if you must creatively find a way around your home ownership, then what then do we need to do? If my desire is to own a house on or before the end of 2021, what do I need to do differently? So you either get it through your network, or you either get it through your network. And let me dwell on that in a moment. Most often than not, you have people who could afford to give you 1 million naira, 5 million naira without thinking twice. But because we don't take value to them, or we don't have good network. So another way I could put it is, they say your network determines your net worth. On the other side, flipping through the other side of it, is that whatever your financial situation is right now is a clear picture, is a reflection, is a mirror of the relationships you have currently. So if you don't have a house, if you can't even pay rent, it reflects that you possibly don't have quality relationships who could help you achieve that, improve your financial status. So if you must improve your financial status and you are saying you need to review, that means you may need to review your relationships. The need to critically x-ray your relationship, to review the relationships that you have, is very, very, very crucial at this time and season. Because one, like I said earlier on, you may equally have quality relationships, and because you don't take value to them, you don't offer value in exchange to them, they can't part with their added fund to give to you for free. They possibly will tell you that they have budget, they have plans for their own funds. They possibly will tell you that they have to work themselves out to make the income that you see them have. But offer them a house, offer them an investment plan that they know that will increase their own net worth, that will improve their own lifestyle, then they will conveniently part with those funds, and in turn you get rewarded for it. But one unique thing is always happens. Most often than not, we refer people to our banks, we refer people to buy good meals from good restaurants, but we don't get incentives for it. One good thing about Million Homes and the group of LifePage Group as a whole is that we have a reward system that is very, very appealing. While we are interested in making sure that life of people gets richer, making life get richer, we are also committed to doing it through partnership, through alliances, by providing opportunities for people who refer people to the company to get rewarded for it. So we are not reducing the quality of output we are giving to an investor, neither are we shortchanging whoever brings that business to the table. The investor will still have to literally pay the same amount of money to own a property, whether they are being referred or not. However, in order for you to own a house, in order for you to have cash in form of commission, in order for you to have refrigerating sets in your home, in order for you to win a car, and all the other juicy incentives that we give, all you need to do is go a step further, form an alliance, partner with us, and provide this opportunity to people that you already know. Every one of us have at least 250 contacts on our phone. But how valuable, how rich we get, the richer we get is subject to what we do with those networks, what we do with those relationships. And this is a wake-up call to say, look, it is time we begin to look away from everything we must use cash to buy. It's now time to begin to be creative about it and to look at ways we can position other people, solve their problems, and in return, our own problems, our financial problems, our housing problems is gone. I'll give you a practical example as I round up because of our time. If for any reason we have orange apartments available in Didiolu Ogba in Lagos here, if for any reason you sell 2 units of 3-bedroom flats, you automatically qualify for a house. You automatically qualify for a 2-bedroom apartment in any of our estates. So it means that you can actually get a house without spending a dime, just by looking for people within your network who will buy, who needs a house either for rental income or to live in. The moment you solve that problem for those people, you literally have solved your own housing issue. You are instantly have delivered a house to yourself for free, aside from the commissions you are entitled to. Another example is selling. Someone have participated in this event, or you know somebody who is interested in investing, is looking for a reliable investment company, and you say, look, I know of these guys, Million Homes. They are reliable. They have a good track record. There are projects that we can see that they are doing, and you tell them, and you get 7 people to buy into Million Homes, just Million Homes Premium. That's minimum of 10 million. If you get 7 people to buy into Million Homes Premium, you already stand a chance to get a house for free. So when I said earlier on that what you need is what you need, a house is what you need. It is not more money. It is not more cash that you need to buy that house, to build that house. You don't need to go through the rigor of looking for land, let alone the rigor to start developing. What you need is to get people who need reliable investment, who need houses, who need reliable and who could manage their funds for them over a particular period. The moment they key into it, your own housing problem is as good as solved. So what we need to do is have a mental shift from the norm. So those people who are saying, what if I don't earn enough to buy a land? What you need is what you need. You need a land. There are alternative, smarter ways to achieving it. And that is the obligation afterwards. You need to begin to draw a list. After today, we'll still look at more of these things in the coming weeks. But for you to be able to be part of this tribe, all you need to do is sign up with, join the tribe.lifepagegroup.com. Sign up to be our partner on your journey to home ownership. Tribe.lifepagegroup.com. It's on your screen. Tribe.lifepagegroup.com. This year, during COVID, people have made millions. People have, in the month of December, you will have people collecting houses, collecting cars. People have gotten, like you saw in some of the adverts, collected TV, gas cooker, all kind of incentives. People have their homes decorated with gift items that they've gotten just by selling, just by offering value. So you are blessed to have a company who is offering value on one end. You have the network. Combine both to achieve your dream. All you need to do is go right now to tribe.lifepagegroup.com to sign up, and you are on your way to being a property owner the creative way. Thank you all. We hope to have you sign up and do a lot of great things. We look forward to having you as one of the house owners in 2020. The year is still not over. You can still own a house before the end of the year. All you need to do is sign up right now, tribe.lifepagegroup.com. What you need is what you need. Not more money, not more cash. You just need to position yourself for all of these great things.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Francis Aguilore. And thank you all for joining us tonight. So we draw the curtain tonight. Just like you said, we have opportunities for those who have money. You either invest to make money. Shalat already told us that during our presentation. Part of the ways by which you can make money from real estate is by investing. You either buy to build, buy to sell, buy to flip, either on short term or long term, or you cannot be an agent. And for those who do not yet have cash, the wherewithal, you can convert your network into your network. That's pretty much what Mr. Francis Aguilore is trying to communicate with us. I believe we all have drawn some degree of value today. Next week, Saturday, is going to be another bomb, and you really don't want to miss out on what we've got for you. I just want to especially appreciate you all for being a part of today's edition. This is week 2. Week 3 comes up next week, Saturday. Tell it out, tell it to your friends, tell it to your loved ones, tell it to your family members, tell it to your colleagues at work, tell it to your neighbors at home, tell it to friends and loved ones, and you'll be glad you did. For those of you who may just be joining us, we want to encourage you to to take advantage of the fact that this platform is already on YouTube. You can watch the replay, you can watch the one you missed last week, and then you can still watch this also later on. And next week Saturday, 5 p.m. same time, 5 p.m. We're going to be having Mr. Lua, the MD of Life Page Estate, share with us on the brick by brick concept of home ownership. And so he will be showing us this incremental strategy for building your own house. And also we'll be having Tade Cash, who will be sharing with us on cash flow strategy in real estate investing. By the way, Tade Cash is reputed to be king of rental income, and so he's going to be showing us cash flow strategy. I still spoke with him today. You know, you need to just hear this guy. So this is going to be hot, and you don't want to miss that next week, Saturday. I just want to say thank you all for being a part of today's edition. Please stay safe, stay strong, and then let's keep hope alive. All will be well with our country, our dear country, Nigeria. And that's all for now. Bye for now. Good night.
Do you know you can earn up to 6 figures by leveraging your networks? And you don't have to quit your job to make it this big. We have set up a system to make lives richer irrespective of who you are and what your current status is. All you need to do is get on board and start earning right away. As a partner, you are ushered into a world of new possibilities. By becoming a LifePage partner, you can earn up to 25% on commissions alone when you sell any of our products. You also get amazing prices when you make the highest sales in a month. It's that simple. To register, visit tribe.lifepagegroup.com. You can also reach us on 090-6000-5737 or 090-6000-5747. Do you know you can earn up to 6 figures by leveraging your networks? And you don't have to quit your job to make it this big. We have set up a system to make lives richer irrespective of who you are and what your current status is. All you need to do is get on board and start earning right away. As a partner, you are ushered into a world of new possibilities. By becoming a LifePage partner, you can earn up to 25% on commissions alone when you sell any of our products. You also get amazing prices when you make the highest sales in a month. It's that simple. To register, visit tribe.lifepagegroup.com. You can also reach us on 090-6000-5737 or 090-6000-5747. Be what you want to be. Achieving your dreams has never been easier, faster, and smarter. Select any of our Million Homes investment plans and earn amazing returns.
Million Homes Flex. Invest a minimum of 10,000 naira monthly for a duration of 1 to 5 years and earn up to 20% compounded return on investment.
Million Homes Hedge. Invest a minimum of 100,000 naira for 1 and 2 years and earn 21% and 47% returns on investment respectively.
Million Homes Premium. Invest a minimum of 10 million naira for 3 years and earn 75% returns on investment in cash.
Million Homes Premium Plus. Here, you invest a minimum of 50 million naira and earn 60% returns in cash and 40% in assets, that is, apartment. Wow!
Growing your cash has never been so simple.
To subscribe, log on to millionhomesafrica.com, create an account, choose your preferred investment option, select your number of slots and make payment. Please do well to follow us via Facebook, Twitter or Instagram at Million Homes AFR. Our phone line remains 090-6000-5737 or 090-6000-5747. Our email millionhomes@lifepagegroup.com. Million Homes. Live here
Or make it fund your living.